Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ditone, and I just got back from burning my hand on a live coal. But you know what? I'm here to bring you some Dota action, anyways. Because you know what? You people just mean that much to me. Anyways, let's go ahead. We've got Team Mineski coming up against Mith.Trust. Mith.Trust, the Thailand powerhouse, also known as the only major team to come out of Thailand in Mineski. Now, who doesn't love some good Pinoy Dota? Let's go ahead and jump right on into the draft. See, it's already gone underway. Reidy, first pick, decides to ban out the lone druid. Doesn't want to deal with that push. Team Mineski gonna go ahead and ban out that lifestealer. No one likes lifestealer these days, especially in Eastern Dota. Just too many things you can do with him. Aggressive tri-lane, defensive tri-lane. As I cast the game earlier, mid him against a pudge. I mean, you know, very standard things. We also see him, Mith.Trust, going to go ahead and ban out the next assassin, even though they've got first pick. Feeling that Mineski might not ban out next assassin, and this is kind of a tell saying we want either Clockwork,
10 seconds remaining,
Keeper of the Light, or Batrider, or Magnus. I don't picture Magnus as a first pick anymore since the the quote-unquote counter to him has kind of been found with the Clockwork, being able to shut him down in mid so very easily. Also Bane, considering he's had such a presence in the Eastern scene recently. Fiend's Grip. It's very, very good. Let's just put it like that. And if you skewer, it doesn't interrupt it. So it's pretty funny. You can skewer somebody's Bane back who's casting a Fiend's Grip, and he just kind of keeps casting it, but from a really far away. But the RP always follows. So yeah. Gonna go and see what Mineski wants to ban out. This is the last pick, eating up quite a bit of the reserve time. And they actually ban out the Gyrocopter. That's an interesting ban. I don't know Mith.Trust as well as I probably should, and well, considering I spent so much time in Thailand, I do love Thailand with all my heart, so a little bit of bias coming out with Mith.Trust, and they are gonna go for the Batrider. I haven't gotten to see a Batrider in quite a few games because no one wants to play against it, so they ban it out to hell, and they pick up the Shadow Demon. One of the one of the ways to deal with a Batrider. You just disrupt whoever he lassos, and you're good to go. Unless you lasso the Shadow Demon, then you're in a bit of trouble. Starting the fight with one less support does actually make a difference. At this level, supports are valued just as highly, or not as highly, but are valued. Supports can make or break a lot of these Eastern Dota games because carry players are all on a relatively similar level. It's called very, very high.
5 seconds remaining.
But yeah, we're gonna go and see. They also pick up the Darkseer, just a very solid off laner, easy laner, mid, jungler. I mean, you can pretty much put them anywhere. And they haven't revealed too much about their draft so far. Shadow Demon, you can either put them in aggressive or defensive lane, or if they want to pick up a Kunkka, put them mid, or you can just put them mid period and do some old school Dota. Still enjoy Shadow Demon mid. He's very, very strong, but not against the Batrider. Actually, maybe against Batrider. Just spam at Shadow Poison. Whenever he goes on you with too many stacks, you just disrupt yourself, cancel out the stacks. Actually, wait. I need to do a little bit of real talk here. Doesn't actually say. Damn. Anyways, they're gonna go ahead and pick up the Visage and the Dragonite. Visage having a ton of play, even getting first ban status after the G1 League, or even during the G1 League, just doing so much work. And not only just in tri-lane versus tri-lane, they will force a tri-lane versus tri-lane with that Visage. And with a Dragonite easy lane and an aggressive tri-lane with a Visage and a Batrider mid, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the lanes are. Unless it's off-lane Batrider as the farmer, which I've seen a couple of times. Fantastic for if you have two unreliable stuns in your lane, two ranged unreliable stuns, like a Windrunner and a Leshrac. Oh, that would be an insane, or a Windrunner and a Lina. That'd be an insane combo because we can do a slowdown with the Batrider. Windrunner can go and get her Shackle lined up right because she has the extra time because of the turn radius and just the slow in general. And so whenever that opportunity arises, you send out the Shackle. Firefly does a ton of damage while they're rooted in place, and you have the advantage on them because you just fly a little bit past them. And the leader can just get her full burst out with 100% reliability. It's a cool theocrafting thing. It's kind of my thing. Theocrafting is what makes Dota to me. And my mug is stuck to my... Yeah, screw it. This mug will now... Or the... What is it called? The, What's the thing you put under cups on desks? I'm an idiot. Anyways, it has now become fused with my cup. That's good. Good coffee. Anyways, Mineski goes ahead and picks up that Keeper of the Light. Once again, not telling much, if at all, anything about their draft. Except for the fact they should ban out PL, which they do right away. Actually ban out the AM. I think that's a silly ban. There's no way that Mith.Trust were going to get that greedy with an AM pick also. Unless they ran an aggressive tri-lane dragon, or ran the Dragon Knight mid and easy lane with the Bat Rider. You know, it could have worked, but I don't think Mith.Trust are that greedy. Of course, I haven't watched enough of them, so I can't say for sure. Mineski do pick up the Keeper of the Light, so last pick, talk a little bit about that. Once again, it doesn't say anything about their lanes whatsoever. Keeper can go defensive or aggressive tri-lane. All we know is that there's enough of a setup right now for Shadow Demon where Shadow Demon can disrupt, Soul Catcher, and Keeper will blast for like all of their HP. And they do go ahead and ban the Alchemist. Very smart decision. Shadow Demon disruption with Soul Catcher and Alchemist stun and Keeper burst. Yeah, that's a lot of damage. So I think they're just gonna ban out. I think they're actually pretty happy Mineski banned out the anti-mage. That's still just such a weird ban for me, because if Mith.Trust picked it up, they already have one of the soft counters, which is the Shadow Demon. So you have two of your own anti-mages, or two mana burners. They ban out the Sand King. Interesting decision. Sand King does pair with Visage. Okay. Visage is slow, does make it so Sand King can get enraged at earlier levels, and they ban the Kunkka. I like that ban quite a bit. That aggressive tri-lane is very, very silly. The Shadow Demon, Keeper of the Light, and Kunkka. Kunkka can just Keeper of the Light can just keep giving mana to Kunkka, so it can keep torrenting. Max torrent first, and it's a lot of damage, and it's actually pretty underrated, but the slow that comes out of torrent is pretty strong too. It's not only a stun, and it's also slow. There's very few abilities that do that. The other one is Dazzle's, his Shadow Poison. Poison Touch, one of those two. Oh, it's Shadow Wave and Poison Touch. That's what it is. But that's a slow into a stun, and it's unreliable, and it requires a lot of levels, and I'm probably missing another one, and I apologize, but still. You go ahead and ban the Weaver also, another ridiculously strong offlaner, and they go ahead and pick the Jakiro. This just screams aggressive tri-lane. So it's going to be a matter of who they pick up for their aggressive tri-lane hero. Mineski still needs a mid, and they still need a carry. So I like this, picking up the supports and the offlaner early, or the mid. Who knows? Because you can't ban all the carries and you can't ban all the mids. What you can do is you can ban either or, and either way you're still left with a very, very strong pick in one or the other. And with these kind of general supports that work so well independently of each other, or just with each other, independent of the carry, you can do so much. I mean, this is pretty much, they're looking to win 2 lanes right now with the Darkseer and the Shadow Demon Keeper combo. They could very, very easily just send the Darkseer mid, and they do pick the Leshrac. This will be a farming Leshrac. And oh my god, I love you, Mineski. I've been saying this since CI2. Farmed Leshrac is one of the scariest things in existence. I'm not talking like Bloodstone farm, but I'm talking like BKB plus another mana item. Like, I have a friend who runs a Yules on him. That's ridiculously silly on him. Silly strong. Free setup for your stun.
10 seconds remaining.
Just anything that gives him bonus movement speed, health, and mana. That's all you need. And you just run around with BKB and your ultimate on, and the entire opposing team dies. And it's really, really fun to watch. You're just like, up, and they were alive, and now they're dead. And hey, look, only one person was the cause of this. So I don't have to go and scream about 900 different people. So I like this quite a bit. And this will be the aggressive tri-lane coming out of Mineski. The Keeper, the Leshrac, and the Shadow Demon. Gonna be a Darkseer on either the mid or easy lane. I'm guessing the mid lane, just because Leshrac a good semi carry, not the best hard carry. They do need another hard carry because they're going up against a Morphling. That's a Batrider offlaner, Dragonite mid, Visage, Jakiro, Morphling tri-lane. Unless it's Dragonite tri-lane with a Morphling in mid. Either or. I actually think it's the latter. Just because I think Mith.Trust thinks the Darkseer is going to be mid. And the nice thing is they can change up what they need based on what this last pick is going to be. If it's a melee hero, that Batrider in the offlane is absolutely going to destroy them.
10 seconds.
So they're going to go get a ranged hero. I think a Luna. I think Luna is the pick
5 seconds remaining.
that Mineski should go with. Not sure if it is. And they go with the Naga Siren. What are these lanes? No, Naga easy lane, Leshrac, Keeper, Shadow Demon, Aggressive Tri-Lane, Darkseer mid. And I don't know what positions the people play, so I apologize. But I do know it is a farming Morphling. I know Lakel's. TNK will be taking out that Batrider. So most likely going to be the offlane bat. Anyways, R5 does disconnect, so we will have a quick little moment to go over who's playing the what. And I apologize, my eyesight is awful, so I do have to bring up this to read who's playing what. On the side of Mineski, we have Jay playing on that Darkseer. We've got Iron Man playing on the Leshrac. We have somebody whose name I need to look up real quick on the Shadow Demon. We have JVN? Yeah, or just call it JVN. We've got JVN on the Razor. You know what? People get Razor out of your name. I know Razor's an amazing company. I'm using a Razor keyboard, but no, just stop it. It's very difficult. We've got what did I just? Well, screw it. Shadow Demon playing the Shadow Demon. Another pause. We've got what did I say it was? JVN. JVN equals Shadow Demon. So JVN on the Shadow Demon. We've got Yanni on that Naga Siren, and we've got Owa on the Keeper of the Light. On the side of Mith.Trust, we have TNK playing on the Batrider. Looks to be going offlane with the boots first. We've got R5 on that Jakiro going into the easy lane. Visage following alongside, played by SD, following Lakel's, who will be playing on that farming Morphling. Morphed pretty much everything to agility, leaving a little bit of strength to start. The one main nerf that people have been talking about, that say that Morphling is no longer playable, has to deal with the fact that you can't cast spells while in waveform, which I don't think is that big of a deal. It certainly nerfs E-Blade, but the shotgun build, but shotgun didn't feel very Dota-like to begin with. It felt very, I don't know, it felt League of Legends-y, like really gimmicky. And the fact that Morph costs a ton of agility, or costs a ton of mana to shift, which I actually agree that is a big nerf, but you just need to level it up to start. If you're playing a farming Morphling, I think you should just max your Morph first, because notice the mana per second doesn't change with level. It's just per second. So yeah, I think it's really, really strong and underrated. But anyways, words do go up. Does look like we're gonna have the defensive Naga. We've got what are these actual? We have a. Did I call it? Can I get an award here for calling the farming Shadow Demon, actually baiting out the kill, or the what's-my-jigger, the stuff, the spells onto the dragon and forcing him to go back? Is this gonna be a tri-lane versus tri-lane mid? That would be cool. That would be very cool. But the problem is Yanni's free farming up on top lane, so he'll have a nice little time. Oh. And it is going to be a jungling Darkseer. Not the worst. Actually one of the fastest junglers. The game just doesn't contribute to your team nearly as much until that mid game, when he'll like randomly come out of the jungle with a mech, and this is actually really nice out of him, pulling a double stacked hard camp plus the small camp. Meanwhile, in the mid, it is going to be a dual lane mid with the Lishrak and the Shadow Demon. I guess that's the one thing I didn't take into account. And we'll be playing on that Keeper of the Light, down on or up, supporting that Naga Siren. Got a awkward tri-lane mid, I guess. TNK just trying to soak a little bit of experience so he can get a sticky napalm up and do a little bit of jungling. He is going long lane, but doesn't want to go against that Keeper Naga dual lane. And it is a dual lane mid here with the Dragonite and the Jakiro. Not the strongest dual lane of all time, but definitely a dual lane that exists. Both gonna guess top rune, isn't there. It's bottom, and it is a regen. So that Dragonite will be wanting that very shortly. Or even this Bat Rider, but Bat Rider is much more concerned about killing off these hard camps. And these are two extraordinarily fast junglers that, even though the Bat Rider misskilled, I believe that Sticky Napalm is actually better at level 1, just because you can actually kill the small camp twice, so you can hit level 2 instead of having to awkwardly cipher experience off of your teammate. Actually, Darkseer might almost... no, he's fine. Unfortunately for him, he got 2 Satyr Tormentors, and with this Unholy Aura, they're getting actually a ton of regen coming out. They are getting only one of the regens, but it's still a lot of regen. So he's gonna be really sad because he's gonna kill off one, and he's just gonna get more regen. Like at level 1, no, it's level 2 Iron Shell. It does damage, but just not enough. Let's go ahead and check the status on this middle lane. Just quite a bit of bottle crowing coming out from that Dragonite. Gonna need it too. So I think the Razor's the one or the... You know what, we're gonna call him Razor. We're gonna call Mr. Shadow Demon right here Razor for the rest of the game to confuse everyone. Because you know what? He's already confused me. But yeah, it does look like he's gonna be the one farming here. Actually doing quite a decent job zoning the Dragonite out of lane. It's just really hard. You've got to constantly keep worrying about that Shadow Poison, and as soon as it gets boots up, even more to worry about. And it does a lot of damage, as we can see. And here's what you get. You get a magic stick right away. It's like playing against a Bat Rider. He's going to constantly spam out a low damage to no damage ability. Okay, cool. We just go ahead and get a lot of that health back. The only problem is when Shadow Demon levels up, that Shadow Poison, all of a sudden the stack damage is 35, and it's exponential up to 4. So yeah. Anyways, just going to come down here. Has quite a few last hits under his belt. One of the main problems with Morphling is he is a shorter ranged hero. So he will be taking quite a bit of that damage. They're gonna go ahead and push out on the top lane, force the Bat Rider to go ahead and make a reaction, but it is much more content to just go ahead and let it possibly fall. Instead, gonna go ahead and farm up these camps. I'm trying to catch up to this Darkseer. He's actually already managed to hit level 5. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the experience graph. Dire leading just by about 500. It was a little bit worse before. And actually, first blood happens on the mid lane. Just enough stacks combined with well-timed disruption and the stun. Stun goes out, does get cancelled. So yeah, and top tower goes down. So a huge burst of money coming the way of Mineski with a really interesting draft. I do like the dual lane, not gonna lie. I like it quite a bit. I wish the Leshak was the one farming though. But the Shadow Poison spam is actually proving to be quite painful. And he's gonna get a very fast Null Talisman. And that courier is very full with bottles. this is Pinoy Dota. Double bottle mid. One for the Leshak and one for the Shadow Demon, obviously, but just gonna be able to keep the pressure up forever. Twin-headed Dragon does actually rotate up onto this top lane. I like this decision instead of having to rotate the bat. Just kind of saying like, sorry Dragonite, like you're gonna have to be underwhelming this game, but gonna get some much needed experience up on that Jakiro. If he hits level 5 or even 6 early on, he's gonna be able to contribute so much more to this dual lane. Do look like we have a gank in the works. This is one way to shut down a Visage, is you just don't give him soul assumption charges. They should almost just say tank the damage right now, just so he can get a ton of soul assumption up. Lakel's meanwhile is pushing out this bottom lane. We'll be going for this Linken's build.
pause, please? I'm terrified.
Can't argue with it. It's actually a pretty big play. Gonna come out. Haste room out. Might actually be able to get a kill out onto Lakel's. Lakel's doesn't do the correct move, which is to go into the trees. And unless he gets some pretty quick TP reaction, dodges the vacuum. So well played out of him. Dragon Tail stun will come through. Ion Shell runs out. Haste is still up, so he can just do it again. But might actually go down to the Soul Assumption. Yeah, Soul Assumption doing so much. Visage has managed to find level 3. So that's Soul Assumption doing base damage of 20, but up to another 325 plus 20. That is math. 345 damage. So that's an up to, though. Shadow Demon, meanwhile, does kill off the Twin-Headed Dragon on the mid lane. Even though he is a high strength gained hero, still that is a ton of damage with the Soul Assumption and the Soul Catcher. Why did I say Soul Assumption? Too much soul in this game. Shadow Poison, the Soul Catcher, and the Disruption. Disruption leading up for that Split Earth, which is being maxed, and the Lightning Storm, which is also being maxed for the counter push, and also because of the guaranteed damage. They're looking to burst down a hero right now, and not slowly but surely run around and whittle him down. And I really wish that was a farming Leshrac, because that's just funny Dota. It's fun Dota. It's like what this Darkseer is doing, which is where he could have gotten the kill on the Kells, was or I shouldn't say could have gotten the kill on the Kells, attempted the kill on the Kells, is just like slowly run around and watches your enemy cries because they're just like, I can't do anything. Actually nice, more just enough agility, so he gets that, but not so lucky there. Visage does manage to hit level 6 and has his familiars out on the map. Stunning up something. I don't know what. The air, maybe. Support Sid rotate down to bottom, so Bat Rider does feels safe approaching this top lane. Disruption, Soul Catcher, and Stun all out onto that Dragon Knight will also get purged and just goes ahead and falls over to that Leshrac's Lightning. SD does come in and attempts to kill the Shadow Demon, but Soul Assumption not enough damage. Leshrac will go down, but Lakel's in quite a bit of trouble. Ice Path's coming out, might be able to get enough damage on the Jay, but didn't has the maxed morph, so we'll be able to morph quite quickly. Bird's back into play. Not sure if they'll be able to do much. Actually, what am I talking about? Not able to do much. Almost kills off the freaking Shadow Demon just based on that. Meanwhile, Jay does go ahead and get a kill on the Jakiro with that Ion Shell. Pops an invisibility rune, so feeling really safe right now. Firefly is back up, and what's his name? Iron Man's just like, nope, don't want any part of this. Just gets recalled into his death. Oa probably being like, oops, sorry man, oh, I didn't mean to do it. So 2 kills on the Leshrac, but for a kill on another kill on the Jakiro, and what else? And the Visage kill. So kind of worth it. Not the greatest trades, not the worst trades, but I'd say Meth are happy with this. Mineski does had the earlier advantage, so their killing them is worth a lot more. It's how Dota kind of rubber bands. And whoa, another kill out on to that Dragon Knight. This lane is just toxic right now. This Tri support lineup, actually, I guess Naga was there, but the Tri bursty lineup just really scary to approach. And he only has 1 point in Dragon's Blood, so that the Riptide just ripping through his armor. Hey, more puns. And what's he sending back? He is sending back a bottle. He did borrow. No, that is his own bottle. What am I talking about? Everyone has a bottle. Everyone. Aaron up on Leshrac, even though he just died a couple times. Wouldn't mind staying alive for some of those charges. No edicts, so they won't be able to push down this tower stupid fast. Still able to push down the tower fast, though. Shadow Demon does go ahead and use the Disruption out on the Morphling. Morphling is one of the more powerful illusions in the game. Bat Rider does get the lasso off on to the Shadow Demon and will go ahead and burn in the Firefly. Purge goes off on the Dragon Knight, but nothing comes of it further. And as I was joking about, oh, you can just lasso the Shadow Demon, and all of a sudden his contribution to like stopping the Bat Rider is coming true. Everything I talked about is coming true if this was a farming Leshrac. This is just a PSA. More farming Leshrac. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Just make sure everything is fine in-game for you guys, because I am still relatively new to Exploit. And by relatively new, I mean I've had it for a year, and still am awful at it. Yeah, I'm not the greatest observer, I will admit it now. But, if anybody knows anybody who needs a co-caster, please let me know. I would love to do some co-casting. Disruption out onto the Visage will be another kill. Soul Assumption, or Soul Catcher goes off into that Coddle Burst. Too much damage. Illuminate is capped out. And they focus different targets so the familiars don't die. So saves a little bit of gold there, but still a lot going down. Dragon Knight does only have a Bracer at 11 minutes. This is the problem with Dragon Knight. If Dragon Knight doesn't get farm, he's just a very underwhelming hero. Yeah, he has the Dragon's Tail, but that's it. Breathe Fire is nice, but it's on a 12-second cooldown for a 300 damage nuke. As we look at Leshrax's Lightning Storm, has a stun of not equal duration but similar duration. Is a ranged hero, and the nuke is only on a 5-second cooldown, and it jumps. Instead of having to be in a line, it can be to the side. Whoa, so nouveau, so risque. Not gonna lie, familiar dropping sound just terrified me, because for whatever reason, my sound effects are really, really loud in my headphones. Fun facts. Fun facts you learn every day. Anyways, Dragon Knight is just looking to get up a little bit more farm so it can be slightly less underwhelming. Morphling does have his Perseverance up. Actually has opted to go for a quick cloak just to make sure he can survive in these fights. Won't be turning into everything, it'll just be a casual cloak. Probably between his BKB. He'll probably go Lincoln's into BKB for an extremely defensive, huge team fight. Max Soul Assumption going out on the Leshrax, brings him down really low. I think that's a missed lasso, but still, nonetheless, kills off the Westmajigger. Familiar is unaffected by Song, so able to just completely just tear through that Darkseer. Barrier does his blink. We saw it earlier, but I feel like bringing it back up because I didn't make a formal mention of it. Yanni does get stunned up. Dragon Knight is doing whatever he can to him, and actually the Morphling will go ahead and clean up the kill with the waveform. Haha, silly no leg joke. And yeah, so at the end of the day, Mith.Trust getting a very favorable trade. I believe only losing their Visage once for the Leshrax and the Darkseer, who also bought back, and also the Naga. So that's like exactly what they needed to bring back into the game. And this is one of the problems with the farming Shadow Demon, is that I thought that was a Dagon recipe. Now, that would have been amazing, because Dagon plus Soul Assumption it's silly. It's just silly. That's like, it's just silly. But yeah, he's just kind of underwhelming. If the fights don't go long and you can't get a ton of stacks of Shadow Poison, you just kind of don't do anything. Shadow Poison is your main damage, along with the fact that you have Purge at a much quicker level. But, you only really need it. The damage doesn't matter too much. Dragon Tail gonna go ahead and get stunned out. They know Naga's sleep is on cooldown because it was used in the last fight, but they're just gonna go ahead and disengage. Morphling gonna jump back to his replicate, just do a little bit more farming. We'll be looking at about a 20-minute Lincoln's here, I do believe. It has too much strength, so it doesn't actually get the easy kill on the catapult. Force Staff up on the Shadow Demon now. Realizing he wants to win the game, so doesn't go for the Dagon. The Dagon Soul Assumption. Still should do it. I'm just calling it right here, Dagon Soul Assumption. New meta. Force Staff into the Disruption, and no follow-up because his entire team doesn't have Force Staff, so kind of a wasted opportunity. Illusion's really ridiculously tanky. He does get the Dragon's Blood from it, so yeah. Just kind of this awkward stalling period now. Illuminate goes off. This is the creeps. Meanwhile, Kel's farming down on the bottom lane on his Morphling. About 100 off from his ultimate orb. We'll be able to just pick that up at the side shop if he wants to. Or Yeah.
top thing is
Regardless.
to get knocked out.
Naga Siren
Dire's
is also going for her own Lincolns, but we can compare.
Dire's
She
structures
is
are fortified.
just a couple hundred gold behind the
top
Morphling. Morphling has 2 kills. Naga hasn't died, has died once. So yeah, it makes sense she should be a tad behind. Actually, we can just go ahead and compare net worth. It's about 700 gold ahead. So nothing groundbreaking, nothing shocking, but definitely notable. Also, to note, this Dragonite, no net worth. Still sitting on finished treads, bottle, magic stick. I'm sorry, magic wand and bracer. And looks like just yeah. I was just gonna go ahead and fly himself out of TP. I thought for sure. It's like, man, he pulled drums out of his rear, but no. Lakel's looks like he'll probably be going down here. Nothing else he can really do. Actually, does have the replicate. He might be able to get to it in time, and yeah, he does right before that. The stun hits. Anyways, Alba gonna go ahead and fight in this clusterfuck of just everything, and everyone is dying, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Dyer's courier went down. That's something to note. Recall back in just for the sing, but the Batrider is going to go ahead and get a kill. Jay is trying to live as long as he can, but it doesn't look like he'll be able to. They might even be able to get a kill onto this Naga Siren. Be another huge kill, delaying that ultimate orb even further. Lakel's having to morph strength morph back up. Iron Man taking quite a bit of damage, very under leveled. 17 minutes, still level 7. SD getting another kill, and that's 3 kills for nothing. Mith.Trust just having this mid-game dominance that comes out when you have the the V-Bird, if you're a Lumi, and the Batrider. Batrider is going to go ahead and blink away. SD looking like he's going to take quite a bit of damage. This will probably be a nice even kill, actually. Might be able to do the drop down. Nope, goes ahead, and we'll just sacrifice his familiars, I guess, to do some last hits. And just doing a little bit of scouting with it. Might be able to get away. Yeah, it does manage to get away with 1. So, at the end of the day, V-Bird does go down.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And yep, there's the other familiar that goes down. Go ahead and take a look at the golden experience graph. Mith.Trust actually taking a nice big jump back up in the experience. This is what happens when you have an early advantage and you throw it away. Dota's inherent rubber band effect. And that's a 19-minute Lincoln's. Alright. 19-minute Lincoln cloak boots equivalent. So that's very well timed. Out of Lakel's, check his last hits. 112 at 19 minutes is not a bad number whatsoever, especially considering Morphling is not a standard jungler. Disruption does go off. 4 men are here. 4 people are here. Stuns coming out from the familiar is actually doing quite a bit. Gonna go ahead and lasso the Listrak back on in. Morphling does get the kill out on the Listrak, picking it up right after the soul assumption hit. So 1 for 1, trading the dual lane mid Listrak for the mid Dragonite. Not the best trade, but this Dragonite is very underwhelming, so not the worst thing that ever happens. The main thing is that they get that extra stun out. It makes it much harder for Mineski to fight when it's their only true reliable stun other than the net. But they rely a lot on that Listrak stun in order to control these fights. This tower is 4 hits off from Nile. It's very sad. Lakel's just going to go back to farming. Has his little replicate up. And they're actually going to go ahead and copy it. They're going to go ahead and engage on it too. Those Visage Birds actually doing quite a bit. Net goes off too. Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and jump back to it. They're going to realize their silly mistake. He goes ahead and walks back into that ice path. Saga dies right as the song goes off, so not only does she die, but the ultimate's on cooldown. Looks like the Shadow Demon's also going to go ahead and fall. See if Lakel's can get the kill. Now he decides to avoid it. Instead, going to go ahead and try and go on to Iron Man. Get a couple of last hits in. TNK blinks in to get the slow. Dodges the stun almost. Just will be able to waveform and pick up that kill. I'm just so fascinated with this chase. I know other people are dying over here. Actually, the Keeper dies to a combination of the Visage Birds plus the Soul Assumption. That was a silly little chase. Darkseer goes ahead, comes back in, vacuum wall, sees if he can get any pick off, but can't. Just has a surge. Doesn't have to worry about a thing. Soul Assumption does go off. Looks like he might be trying to sacrifice himself to Roshan. That would be a play. But he seems to be fine. I I don't know what Yanni's doing here, but he comes back on in. I guess he's expecting support to come in, but just there's no support to be found. We'll go ahead and back off. Actually, SD, being a man, thinking they're supposed to re-engage, but actually nothing comes of it. Thinking maybe they'll stun long enough. This might actually turn out horribly for them. No, Bat Rider able to force himself out, and the Ice Path. Fantastic at disengaging, even if it doesn't hit anybody. But SD off in no man's land, and gonna just fly his familiars out. Probably focusing maybe a little bit too much on his familiars, or his team just not communicating properly. Looks like a Yule Scepter is going to be coming out of that Shadow Demon. Another form of Disable also helps deal with the Bat Rider quite a bit. Bat Rider will now have to start focusing pretty much exclusively the Shadow Demon. If he focuses any other target, he's just going to get either lifted into the air, disrupted, or his target's going to get disrupted, or just a whole mess of things can happen, and none of them are good. Dragonite should be picking up his drums right now, just to help out his team quite a bit. I don't believe there's any drums out on the field. Should be noted, Morphling does have another 500 gold. And does he have anything else flying out to him? No, he's just got his Legacy finished. He's got his Tread finished. Another 800 gold in his bank. Probably going to be looking towards... I'm guessing with that cloak, he's going to feel fine and not going to want to get a BKB. Instead, maybe get something like a Manta style. Which would help get out of the net and the mana drain. I believe he gets out of mana drain. Should get rid of mana drain, but or charges of the Shadow Poison or the Soul Catcher. So a couple of nice little things. Goes ahead and gets the blink onto the Shadow Demon. Shadow Demon going to get completely isolated. Probably will go ahead and die here. Going to go ahead and disrupt himself for a little bit longer, but the Ice Path is there. Dual Breath goes off, thinking Leshrakt's going to run north, but he runs south instead. So Jay's going to go ahead and get isolated from his team. And that's 2 down for the side of Mineski. Mineski just falling apart during this mid-game. There's no nice way of putting it. They're just playing really soppily, and they're getting punished for it. Looks like Leshrak out in no man's land. Might actually get caught up by the Jakira, but Jakira just barely doesn't see him. Or maybe thinks it's a solution. Who knows?
Top tower is under attack. Guys,
does have his Arcanes up. Sitting at level 11, so that level 2 Macropyre actually able to do quite a bit. Naga's Illusion split pushing. Being very effective. Does have her Linkets up now. And her Treads. So, still keeping very, very equal with this Morphling in terms of last hits, but you can see just about 1.3k gold behind. So not on the same level. It's pretty much the pocket cash is the difference. Morphling could TB back down, maybe create a replicate of his Jakira, TB back down, feed, just clean up all those creeps on the top. Who knows, might come back to bite him later. Not doing so. DD on the Naga. Just gonna go ahead and be able to start on her Diffusal Blade. Not sure about this. I would have preferred a Manta for the extra illusions and then getting the Diffusal. And it might actually be the Manta. Somehow I doubt it, but Manta is more of an underwhelming item, but it gives you the extra stats, and I feel like this Naga right now, it has a real problem surviving in these fights, and more illusions the better. I mean, having 5 illusions of yourself is pretty awesome. And then you pick up a Diffusal, and all of a sudden your damage output just spikes. And they need to take this to the later game, but that's the problem, is they're playing against a Morphling who can... Oh, I hope is going for a Scotty. Because Morphling with a Scotty is so good. It is so good. And no one respects it, but we do have a Smoke Gank up. Might be able to catch out the Naga. He's gonna go ahead, and they're gonna go down. They're gonna go ahead and catch him. Flame break him back, and the song just goes out. Meanwhile, they're gonna go ahead and take the T2 trade, while the Naga just... Pretty much they just traded a T2 for a Naga Sing, so not the worst. Gonna go ahead and try and defend it, actually. Stun does miss out on the Morphling. Chasing. Gonna be able to get that Dragon Tail stun out. Disruption does go out onto the Leshrak. Just everyone's going everywhere right now between 4 staffs and just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Anyways, TNK getting out on very, very low HP. The Shadow Poison Tig doesn't kill him, and neither does the Urn, getting out on the lowest of low HP. What's it? The thing gets, the Lincolns gets popped. Soul Assumption goes off, not enough to kill out Yanni. Jakiro does go ahead and die, along with the Dragon Knight. He died a little bit earlier in this fight. Lekels comes back into the fight, has a waveform in 1 second, won't be getting it off. Instead, actually, yeah, he will. Waveform's up, might be able to kill off Yanni. He might, just maybe, gets the last right click off, maybe, goes down. No, isn't able to get it off. Soul Assumption will go ahead and kill off that Lestrak on the back lines, and they're going to go ahead, SD is going to go ahead and try and kill Razor on, kill Jay, but unable to get it. Might be able to kill Yanni with those birds. Gem on the ground. Looks like, somebody going to pick it up? There's a gem there. Alright, cool. And it looks like, what's his name, is going to go ahead and pick that up. So that was a very interesting choice to defend there. Lose the Morphling, lose the Visage, lose the Dragon Knight, lose the Jakiro, and barely get out with the Batrider. If that had been all at once, they all TP in, then maybe they would have been able to do something, but it kind of came in at a very staggered point, and it just didn't work out perfectly for them. And we can see experience, or gold, is back into the Dire's favor with that little engagement. And also the experience does take a massive dip down. So that's one of the things, is that Mineski won the laning phase. That's just a fact, is that Mineski won the laning phase, and because of it, they've been able to just have this nice little gold advantage, and they have these ridiculously farm supports. Keeper Light sitting on a mech and on his way to a 4-staff. The Shadow Demon, who's, yes, he did it. He went for the Dagon. The Soul Assumption Dagon shenanigans are about to commence. I love you. Name who. I love you, period. But then you also have the Lestrak, who has the double bracer and the Urn, so is very tanky, sitting at the 1k, the single K of HP. And this Dragon Knight, just underwhelming, is on his way to his BKB. Isn't ridiculously far off from it, but he is far off from it. 30 minutes, even as a Dragon Knight without free farm, you still want to have it at 30 minutes. It's kind of a general timer you should have it. Drums BKB 30 minutes, but you can just see what happened with this laning phase. But Mineski did throw away their level advantage with a couple of really poor engagements, and Mith.Trust was able to crawl themselves back into this game. However, Trust, with that one poor engagement, does dip down, the experience does dip down back quite a bit. You can see it's leveled out at about 7.5k advantage. That 30 minutes isn't too much, but it is something. It is something, and it does look like Morphling is going to go for the Eagle Song. Most likely. Please don't tell me. As long as it's not a shotgun. Like, they have so much magic damage on their side, I think a shotgun would be their wrong decision. And it's a shotgun. Alright. So, how shotgun... Oh, wow. Huge engagement coming out. Vacuum Wall with the Ag Scepter, just absolutely decimating that Dragon Knight. Soul Assumption goes off, and actually oh, it was so close. They were so close to getting the shotgun kill. He actually just needs the Adaptive Strike, but he isn't going to get in range. You can actually see the Adaptive Strike with that not being able to be used in waveform, actually having an impact there. And he's just going to go ahead and keep chasing. Meanwhile, we have the lasso on the what's-my-jigger. Lekels is going to go ahead and get stunned up from that Lestrak, but Lestrak probably will be... No! Nice 4-step coming out from the Darkseer to save his compadre. And Surge, so he'll be fine. Just go ahead and take this opportunity to retreat before they start overextending. So nice, another 2 kills coming in out from the side of Mineski. Do lose their Shadow Demon, but they don't lose anybody else. And so that 2-for-1 trade, definitely in Mineski's favor, especially considering he's keeping this Dragon Knight down even more. Let's see what he has. Yeah, he's just flying at the Ogre Club to himself, realizing he needs the extra strength right now. Might even sell that bottle just so he can carry a TP. And they're going to go ahead and take Rush, something I haven't seen all day. Well, they took it for a couple of seconds, and then they realized they don't have any damage. Looks like Naga should be going for a Mantis style next, or we'll be upgrading her Diffusal. I'd like either or. Once again, I already said about how much I love more illusions and just the chaos it creates in fights, but they already seem to have quite a bit of chaos going for them in these fights. Maybe don't need any more. And Dragon's Breath in smoke, just because why not? No, the twin-headed dragon smoke now. Looks like both teams gearing for a fight. These teams destined to ruin my lungs. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Bat Rider is scouting for a good pickoff. Might be able to find it. Probably won't. Does go in for it. Just force staffs himself out. Just not feeling it. And that means they don't have to worry about an engagement for about another 30 seconds. 2 Lincolns goes off. Surge comes out onto Yanni looking for a net. Not gonna find anything. 2 teams perched, gearing for a fight. Now the game settles a little bit. Crazy action-packed 5-team fights a minute. Strategy that both have been going for of kind of resting. Tiny bit Dragonite might actually be able to find a bit of his farm sitting about 2k off from his BKB. If he gets that BKB, still won't be crazy, but he'll be doing something. And that's what matters right now, is the something. Actually, Mineski gonna go ahead and try and push down this lane. Don't think they realize there isn't T2 here anymore. Unless they're gonna go and try and take high ground here, or they're just gonna try and force reaction out of Mith.Trust. So they don't just keep farming. Marfling does have a replicate up, I believe, unless it was just killed. No, he does have a replicate out somewhere, but realizes he doesn't need it, or just jumps back anyways. Gonna go ahead and heal up. I would like to see a Scotty come out from the Morphling right now. Ridiculous amount more stats, and the slow to help lock down a lot of these other heroes. They don't really have much lockdown whatsoever. The dual breath is good slow. That's one of their better ones, and the grave chill. But other than that, they don't have anything to really slow down. What am I talking about? They have sticky napalm. And actually, another notable pickup: Bat Rider does pick up the pipe, and the Visage does have a mech, and the Medallion of Courage. I respect SD to a crazy extent, trying to get the Medallion off with all the rest, because Soul Assumption is physical damage. So Soul Assumption does even more with Medallion of Courage on a target. Not to mention, your birds do so much more damage. We just see Jay doing a little bit of split pushing. Going to go ahead and get recalled back by the Keeper. I think they might have caught the edge of that effect, so not going to feel scared at all. Net goes out onto the Dragonite. Gets force staff back by the Bat Rider. Won't be fans very scared at all, and Darkseer's going to go ahead and pause. Reconnect, looks like. Looks like a couple of them are experiencing some lag problems. They're going to go ahead and reconnect. Any other notable pickups that I have missed? Got all of that. Working on his BKB. Dagon, I love you. We've got an Ags called out. I didn't make an official statement, but Darkseer does have that Ags. Not only gives him the extra health and mana, but also makes it so his illusions do a lot more. Once again, illusions of Morphling do so much damage because they do get the morph bonus, so you'll end up with illusions with like 300 agility and no strength. So they'll die ridiculously quickly, but they still do so much damage while they're up. Also, another great thing about that Shadow Demon pickup. And since Morphling, against his better judgment, decided to go for the E-Blade, we'll also go ahead and take more damage from that Dagon if if ... wants to level that up. Yanni. Doesn't look like he's made it. Sitting on 4k gold is what he's doing. We've got another 4 staff about to finish up out of the Keeper of the Light. So yeah, very interesting Dota so far. Just gonna go ahead and wait for the reconnects. Looks like everyone's back. Game should be started back up very shortly. And you might be asking yourself now, Quin, or Ditone, or whatever alias you want to go under, and or real life name. Why don't you just fast forward? And it's because of that, and because, you know what, a little bit of downtime doesn't hurt anybody. Doesn't hurt anybody at all. The game is now on pause. Flame Break goes out. Just doing a little bit of scouting. Does give vision, so. Feeling all nice and dandy right now. Feel so bad for the Shakiros. All died 5 times and only been in half his team's kills. I'd say only half. Dragon Knight should feel a lot more sad. He is a semi-carry, and he has died 5 times. True heroes of this game so far have been the Visage, who even though been caught out a couple of times, still made some amazing plays with that soul assumption and the fact that he's sitting on roughly 31 armor right now. It's pretty crazy. Snogsire's Illusion is actually pretty tanky with this Lincoln Sphere. A lot of people were dissing the Lincoln's pickup after / during TI2. And I personally like it quite a bit. It just makes your illusions ridiculously tanky without having to go for some pure HP item like a heart, because I think heart does a lot better later. And even though Naga doesn't do as much early on with a Lincoln, she doesn't do much early on with any item in general. So like Darkseer is probably going to be going for that Hex next. Does pick up the Lincolns, and yeah, it looks like the Naga is going to be going for that Manta. Should be picking it up right now, except, or no, is 30 gold off from it, 20 gold off from it. I can do math, I swear. Yeah, this can be annoying for Myth, is that they constantly have to deal with this insane split push that comes out from the Naga illusions, plus the Darkseer illusions. They can't just let the Naga illusions time out because they do so much damage, and they can't just send one person back because the Naga's illusions are really, really strong. And now there's going to be even more of them. So yay for Naga. Jay is going to go ahead and get caught out real quick. We'll go ahead and get shotgunned down. Just nothing else to say about that. Just get shotgunned down real quick. And it's a sad, sad day if you're Darkseer. Sad day indeed. Lakels does pick himself up another kill, sitting on 4k gold. Wouldn't be surprised to see another Eagle Song come out for a Butterfly, just because the fact there's little to no physical damage reliability coming out from this team. Or a BKB. BKB wouldn't be surprised at all. I thought, I mean, it's a good item, and it gives him strength, which means he gets more stuff. And stuff is good. Stuff is very good. Kel's just farming up. Actually, doing a lot of damage to him. Batrider is going to go ahead and do a little scouting out. Does go ahead and find the Keeper. Like Keeper gets burst down by just the E-blade. Only needed 1/2 the shotgun. And no, he does have 217 agility. Realizing they've gotten a couple of kills and they've got the medallion, why not just go ahead and take on the rush? And it looks like they should be able to get this with little to no contestation. Batrider doing the scouting out will go ahead and find the Shadow Demon, gets disrupted. Soul Catcher and Daggins. Nope, blinks out just in time. But yeah, TNK really should use Firefly right now. Actually was just baiting for his team. Goes ahead and burst the Shadow Demon gets burst down right away by that shotgun. Shotgun actually having a pretty good effect so far. I was doubting it because of the strength of not the strength of the heroes, but just the high HP values of most of the heroes, and they won't be able to kill the Naga. And that Naga has a lot of illusions that are doing a lot of mana burn. He needs to get out of there very quickly, and will do so. The reason why you pick Naga over someone like a PL is because PL was banned. Hey, but other than that, I'm pretty sure Mineski would have picked up the PL if they had the opportunity to. But the Naga can disengage for the entire team instead of just himself, and he can farm much more reliably. Lasso does go in, is going to find Iron Man, not the greatest pickoff of all time, but it is a pickoff nonetheless, and he's just going to go ahead and die right away. Lakel's realizing he doesn't need to be there, sitting on his 6k gold, is just going to go ahead and quickly shotgun down that keeper. Nothing he can do, and this siege now just got a lot scarier. Also, Abba finally hit level 16 on that Dragon Knight, has his BKB, so is able to do something. And notice as that happens, he starts doing things right away. Yanni goes ahead and just gets absolutely destroyed right there. Even though he's doing my favorite build of all time, is just going to go ahead and die. Lakel is just on fire right now, just showing why he is pretty much amazing in general. And I think it's because they're lagging, but man, just goes ahead and dies off so quickly there. Actually, he should watch out. These are freaking wall of replica, or super wall of replica illusions, and he will just go ahead and finish off the tower real quick. Maybe, yeah, he'll just go ahead and finish the tower and actually start working on the Raxes, just realizing there's nothing they can do. Anybody comes in range, he's just going to shotgun him down. But what he is going to do is he's just going to go ahead and kill off himself. It was tragic. Sitting on 8.5k gold. Freaking Lakel's just buys something, man. He's going to create an illusion, which I believe, yeah, just will be going back to base. So he can keep farming up until he wants to go back. Sitting on 9k gold. My god, man. 11-1. Showing that Morphling still is a viable carry, and gets shotgun. Nope, doesn't get shotgun down quite yet. The mech does come out in time, so he will be able to survive for now. Is just going to keep strength morphing out, jumps back out to his illusion, and sitting on his 9.3k gold. I feel like I should keep just keeping track of the amount of money he has. TNK does go ahead and get diffuseled up, so he is slowed down quite a bit. He's going to sing just so he can get in position, and does just blink out. One of the unforeseen consequences of having that Leshrac does pick off the Jakiro. This is Fat Rider just on a crazy goose chase. Gonna go ahead and use that thing he has, the pipe, try and live as long as possible, but does eventually fall over at the end of the day. Oh my god, that replays look so silly. Kind of a glitch, I assume. Sorry, I was very distracted by the ridiculous bright lights. But anyways, Lakel's does go ahead and buys up a full Manta and Boots of Travel. So, good pickups coming out of him. I still want to see a Scotty. I still think a Scotty is just so good, but goes for the higher agility item, the 26 instead of the 30. See, it's good. Actually, I think it's only Scotty is only $25 attributes, so it's pretty much the same. I mean, one less. I mean, the only difference is that what? Manta Style, where did you go? Manta Style, where are you? It's only a 500 gold difference for one stat, and a little bit of attack speed. I don't know. I just think he could use the benefit from the raw HP also. But once again, that's my own opinion. He is sitting at almost 2k HP with only 19 strength because of the fact that he gets the plus 65, just naturally. Coming through that from that Manta Style and from the E-Blade and the Aquila and the Lincolns and all of his items in general. Morphing up just the rest of that just to make it so his E-Blade's even scarier. Might actually be able to... Nah, he's just going to go ahead and wait for him out. I'm not going to have to deal with any of that shenanigans. Sorry, I just love the word shenanigans. It's not my fault. I was born this way. Do breath, wait for him. Pretty much how they're going to have to deal with these illusions from now on, as they are getting quite tanky. He could really benefit from just getting a straight up vitality booster right now, which he might actually be doing. Nope. Yes. No. Nope. I think a straight vitality booster actually might be a good idea. Just because, even though it's like no matter what, you don't get the bonus. You wouldn't be getting bonus damage, but you do gain a bonus HP on all your illusions. Looks like Dyer's gonna go ahead and smoke up, heading down to the bot lane, and all of Mith.Trust is chilling at the top lane, also smoked. So one of these awkward situations where just counter smokes. and they're not going to find anything. Either of these teams are. So we're going to go ahead and take this couple of seconds to check the EXP graph. EXP capping out for the Reidy at 25k, and the gold only at 7.5k. Pretty much all that 7.5k being stored into that Morphling. Where's net worth? There's net worth. You can just see the net worth on this Morphling is just going a little bit of the bonkers. Dragonite does manage to pick up his Blink Dagger, and all this could be really bad for Mineski, especially if they catch out the Naga. Naga is going to go ahead and get her Lincoln's Pop, and very, very well played. Just going to go ahead and pop off that Sing right away, but the Familiar Stun just delaying it a little bit. Vacuum into 5-man Vacuum. Going to go ahead, get the shotgun off onto most of that Naga's health, but still going to live throughout all this. Meanwhile, the Shadow Demon does go down between the Soul Assumption and just the rest of the damage. Morphling does go ahead and buy back to the game. He did die, but Jay is just going to go ahead and call it GG. Mid-Rex was taken during this entire fight. While it does go ahead and get pulled back by that lasso, and very well played out of Mith.Trust. This Abba on the Dragonite not really having the greatest performance, but Lakel's just proving why you don't give free farm to a Morphling. The reason why he's not picked anymore is two reasons. First off, his morph costs a ton to morph at low levels, and in conjunction with that, the prevalence of or just the presence, sorry, not prevalence, the presence of aggressive tri-lanes in the current metagame.
The evil dude's base is getting owned.
And because that morph costs so much at early levels, he just got so much damage. But he can't morph, and he doesn't have that crazy survivability, especially with the increased mana cost on waveform, which was also another thing that I forgot to mention. But he's very easy to shut down now. But you need to put pressure on him, let him get free farm. This happens. It's the TI2 Morphling all over again. Late game, he's still the same. Anyways, this has been Mith.Trust versus Mineski, coming out of the Rapture Gaming Network League, 2013 to 2014. 5 games played every week. Going through a group stage, into a playoff bracket, into the actual finals. And yeah, I mean that's all there was. 13-2 Morphling. It's hard to say anything else. Well played by Lakels and Yanni, playing very well on that Novice Siren. Anyways, this has been a cast brought to you by Ditone. You can check me out at youtube.com/DitoneDota, or on my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/XCSDitone. Anyways, you can make sure to check out the official replays over at youtube.com/RaptureGaming. They're just some great folks out there, do some great things, and I'm just doing my own little thing, help them out a little bit. Anyways, thank you so much, not only to Rapture for letting me captain these, but also for you guys tuning in. Anyways, I'm done for tonight. Make sure to check me out, and I'll see you next time.